Hey, yo.
Don't get on the snowmobiles, kids.
Oh,
Does anybody have the link to that PDF file of how to make the Shinzo Abe gun?
We can't start the episode right in the middle of my whole thought when I was talking with someone else.
This is the scuffiest start to any of these shows ever. Hello.
Did I talk about how I crashed a snowmobile on the podcast before?
Yes.
You did it on the podcast?
Was that on the podcast?
When you talk about your snowmobile wreck? No, I don't think so.
Because I did wreck a snowmobile. These things do happen sometimes.
Oh, damn. I bet that hurt.
It did, but I was like a kid, so I had like crackhead energy, and I just kind of got back up again.
The Wolverine gene where you can just like regenerate immediately.
Welcome to Shrimp Hours 28. I think it's 28. Coming at you with a 6-pack of shrimps. I'm here, Rusty's here, Cody's here, Slap's here. We have resurrected Ed Soundhead, so he's back. And of course, we've got our guest, Blake McCandless. Blake, who are you? What do you do?
I'm a dude that is not really important to anything. I don't know why you guys want to talk to me.
Nah, what the
fuck? None of us are.
I mean, I don't know, over the last couple of years, Twitch streamer, I'm the voice of Ace Speedway in Altamaha, North Carolina. Done a little bit of work the last couple of years, NASCAR and NBC and Pit Road TV, doing some work with the Cars Tours, you know, just on that announcing grind. I co-commentate the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series. So yeah, people pay me to talk, even though I sound like an idiot.
So cooler shit than literally all of us. All right, cool. Thank you. We also have dueling background cardboard cutout figures. I just realized. So you've got a Jeff Gordon and Slap has the Brad.
Oh, I do have a Jeff Gordon too. It's hard to see. It's so damn tall. There's no. So the one thing about this Jeff Gordon cutout that I have is it is like, because Gordon's what? He's like 5'3" or something. He's like a tiny dude.
Pretty short dude.
Yeah. This cardboard cutout of him, which is him drinking a Coke, by the way. This is before the Pepsi days.
Oh,
he's
that's weird.
He's like 5'8" in this cardboard cutout. It's like, I mean, if you got the video up, I mean, you could see like his chest, and that's pretty much it. But he's drinking a Coca-Cola, you know.
This is from before he would cut down on you at Texas, right here. This is that Jeff.
Yes, yes.
Gotcha. That was a recent revelation.
That brings us into what's Twitter doing, because I heard that people found a clip of Jeff Gordon saying that was his fault. And everyone was like, vindicated.
Vindicate my boy.
Oh, we didn't need him to say that, but I'm glad he did.
The championship hat. Vindicate my boy.
Yeah, we didn't need him to say that, but I'm glad he did, because, you know, I've never been wrong, first of all.
Brad's never been wrong about anything in his life. He's always right about everything.
Literally not even one time. It's kind of crazy. But
I want to go through
we did it.
A few more Twitter stories. NASCAR was testing some mufflers this week, and basically everyone in the industry.
That's tomorrow.
Okay,
it's on Wednesday.
So they will be testing some mufflers, and I've seen pretty much everyone in the industry saying, "Okay, cool, that's great," because the cars were too loud. And then I still saw fans who are like, "Oh, I can't believe they're gonna go electric now. You're taking the sound out of racing. Is so upsetting." But yeah, shout out to Twitter.
Yeah, they're always great opinions. I mean, as long as it ain't like Formula E or something, that's really, you know, like, as long as it's not sounds like a fucking vacuum cleaner, I think
they're still probably going to be incredibly loud.
Can you not do some like electric guitar plugins to make that shit sound sweet?
Have you heard the Porsches, the Taycans? Because those sedans, they have like the simulated noise, and you hear them driving around, and it just sounds like a joke. Like,
well, maybe we're not. Stupid. Maybe the technology's not quite there yet. But I believe that one day we can make electric cars sound sweet. Because I mean,
or we could just go.
I do think electric cars are sweet.
We could just go the sustainable model and just have them powered by 100% ethanol. You know.
I thought you were going to say water, but I'm not trying to die.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not trying to get assassinated by the CIA fucking oil barons.
Go running out of a diner, grabbing your throat, and just collapse in the parking lot.
No, that was the McDonald's Sprite. The McDonald's Sprite did that to him. I'm 100% convinced.
The Pentagon is expressing interest in this invention.
Conspiracies aside, I want to talk about some paint schemes for Drip or Drown, because I don't think there was any other big drama on Twitter, unless I missed anything.
There's drama on YouTube, but not Twitter.
There's drama on YouTube. What's the drama on YouTube?
Steven Crowder and like the whole Daily Wire thing.
I don't know
what the fuck is that.
Steven Crowder got offered $50 million across 4 years to be like on contract with them and like, you know, do like conservative commentary for them and everything. And he rejected it. And instead of like making a second offer, because it was just the first offer from the Daily Wire to be on contract.
Yeah, it was a term sheet. It wasn't even like an official contract.
Yeah. So like instead of like hashing it out, he goes on his own show and says, "Oh, this is basically a slave contract. This is like a this is basically exploitative because it wants me to conform with YouTube's terms of service." I was like, "Yeah, the Daily Wire is paying you to be a YouTuber. That means you have to be on YouTube, which means you have to conform with their terms of service, which you already fucking do." And he's like, "Oh, well, YouTube has it out for like conservative commentators or whatever." But he is literally the biggest political commentator that's independent on all of YouTube. You know, you look at all the other independent commentators, he is literally the biggest one, like 6 million subscribers or what the fuck ever. And he's like trying to stand up and say, "Oh, Daily Wire's embedded with big tech or whatever, all this bullshit." Yeah. I was like, my brother in Christ, they're offering you $50 million to do what you're already doing, and just don't violate YouTube terms of service, which you have already done.
All right.
And I think it's a psyop. So that Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire like had this like agreement where they were just like, "Hey, offer me $50 million so I can flaunt that in front of investors and I can launch my own like
right, to inflate his value.
Able to inflate his value and be able to like launch his own media company and all that shit." That's what this is all about. It's him trying to, you know, bolster himself. This is all a psyop. It's bullshit.
Sure. All right. You know, it's not
this
bullshit.
Week on Slap's crazy moments in history.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. We have. I want to do Drip or Drown first to get the NASCAR stuff out of the way. All right. So here's a few of the paid schemes that have been announced this week that I want to take a look at. First of all, RFK released their Castrol Edge cars.
Speaking of edge, I'm edging just looking at this.
And that is an insta drip right there. These things slap. Chrome numbers on a dark base, very nice.
Man, I can tell you, NRF is really gonna hate these paint schemes.
Two of the same car, how dare they? No, they look sick. I'm glad they didn't try to do like a negative one, because then one of them's gonna look worse than the other. I don't think they're gonna run these in the same race, but either way, they look sick.
Castrol's just naturally like those colors can look really good.
Dude, on a black base now, it's like
yeah, with Casey Atwood back in the day, those still look good with a white base.
All right, next up, because those are both drips, obviously.
Did you get the one I sent you?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay. Christopher Bell.
What's different?
I got questions.
This I got crap.
Questions. I got concerns.
The drop shadow on the roof is my biggest question.
Oh wait, yeah. Why is it up here too?
What the fuck?
It's not even.
No. What is that, like a triangle?
Drown it.
It's never been italicized, but it's never had a fat drop like that.
Drown it.
Ooh.
Like this would be a very forgettable scheme. Like in 3 years.
Oh no! That render.
Nah, bro, relax.
Yeah, this
settle down.
I don't know what's going on.
It's just a drawing.
Drown.
Yeah, these are chrome numbers.
This is the same problem with Martin Truex when he had the black numbers on the Bass Pro Shops.
So they're not actually black; they're just chrome, but they're gonna look black whenever it's dark. So, yeah, it's pretty gross.
Again, my opinion, very forgettable. Like in 3 years, you're not gonna remember what this year's DeWalt car looked like.
Yes. Yeah.
Everyone remembers the like 2017 DeWalt car. No one's gonna remember this one.
Does anybody remember the 2003 like DeWalt saw blade that Matt Kenseth had on like the side of his car?
Yeah.
At the time, I thought it looked kind of goofy, but that was actually kind of sick in retrospect.
Yeah, that's awesome. This sucks.
Most of Matt.
It's a drown.
What are they trying to do like with the fender and the quarter panel? Like
It's too busy. What are these lines?
But they don't make any sense. It doesn't flow at all.
Panel. What is that? Like
the
zigzagging.
Yeah.
You know what's
it looks
bad?
like the line for my subscriber count. What the fuck is that?
Nah. Tell me that doesn't look like the Atlanta Falcons logo right there.
At least yours is going up.
I don't know enough about football.
Oh my god.
A little bit.
It's the Atlanta Falcons logo. Whether you want it to be or not.
The Choke City. Choke City.
Thick stroke on that interstate batteries. Like,
that is huge. Even it has the drop shadow here too. Look at how thick it is here. Oh, this is tough. And the lines make no sense. The front going like downwards and then ugh. All right, next.
That's a
It
hot
feels
render,
like two
though.
people made this, but one had the bottom half, the other had the top half. They just kind of met in the middle.
All right, next up, shout to these renders.
Oh my god.
Ew.
Yeah. Zane Smith and Todd Gillen Speedy Cash rides for front row this year.
I thought the 2018 Speedy Cash cars looked bad, but this is
this is not a good look.
The front ends look bad. The fact that I can't tell which number looks better because they both look so bad. Like one has the orange ones, the white outline. The one without the white outline looks like out of place, and oh man.
Yeah.
This is like another one made by committee. Like one half of the committee was just like make it flat black. The other half was just like make it green, and they kind of met in the middle and they came up with this abomination.
This
These
looks like a
renders are pretty tough,
NASCAR
too.
2005 Chase for the Cup like base on this scheme.
Yeah, the way the hood is like cut out and it's like smaller on the truck because that's where the actual hood is. Oh.
Yeah.
Real quick, I know somebody that can help them for the Coke racing season.
I gotta talk to someone about that. Because if Cozy shows up to the Coke series with this car, we're gonna have some problems.
Oh my god, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'll try talking to some people. All right, so that's a fat drown. Next up, Ryan Priest, Haas.
That's a step back. I feel like it's a step back.
No, I like it more than the silver.
That is shades of Kurt Busch 2003 at
Yes,
Darlington.
it's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yep.
But the silver was hot. Silver was so sexy.
The silver.
It's clean, baby. It's clean.
I feel like this is so much more like
clean.
Haas 41. The red, the black, the white. I like it. I like it a lot.
I agree, but I don't know. In person, that 41 was sexy with the silver.
Well,
Chat whoever mapped this render, by the way, with the stretched ass line.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
shit.
That's
Otherwise, that's pretty good. That's sufficiently
overall
drippy.
Solid. That rear quarter panel wrapping is kind of cringe.
Well, I mean that's just the 3D model. He's
we'll
also running
see.
a United Rental Cars, which is
Solid.
Next, yeah.
it looks like a Cole
wrong
Custer.
with that.
It looks like a Chase
It's
Briscoe
safe.
car.
I like it.
Yeah,
It's safe.
yeah. They've been. I feel like this car's been around for 5 years.
Yeah.
Just with the different.
Yeah.
All right. Next up.
Love it.
So RFK, they did not need to do this. They did not need to show up to a test with an entirely new design, a Ken Block tribute with his name on the window,
on the window.
Oh
shit.
shit!
based off of his his Fiesta
bro.
design.
Oh,
God, bro.
they need to show up to Daytona with this because that also fits the
They can't.
75th anniversary colors.
They can't. You know why? Because the fucking side skirts are painted.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, they can do
that's
that.
what makes
Cringe.
it.
What do you mean you can't do that? They do that for the rate.
Ford doesn't like
paint
it.
schemes.
They can do it for a test
Ford
scheme,
is
but they
cringe.
can't do it. Ford won't allow it. Because like Keselowski was like tagging Dale Jr. like, please God, let us do this during the regular season.
And I feel like Toyota
All right.
doesn't allow it either.
I'm going to need you to get the Ryder truck, take it up to Michigan.
Yeah, we're
Jesus
painted yellow.
Christ.
We're driving.
God, this is so cool.
So-
it was really cool of them to do this.
Can we speak towards
That was
how
hot.
every team that tests has an opportunity to get massive engagement and like exposure when they put out like a banger test scheme? Because there was a couple people running like all black with like a white number. That's not how you generate
That's what I
any
mean.
interest.
That's what I mean when I say they did not have to do this. Like it's not like standard for anyone to come out with something cool for a test. RFK went above and beyond. And that's awesome.
That's a Ken Block like throwback. Also, it's like the 75th anniversary colors. Like it's perfect.
I hope that shows up. Now, I will ask a question, like the RFK like thing at the bottom with the little 3, I don't even know what the hell you call that because I'm not a designer, but like, are you guys for or against that in this game? Because honestly, I don't think it doesn't detract from it.
Logo. I think it's fine here. I think it works.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
It's a little weird not extending down beyond the skirt, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
But I'll allow
okay
it
with
because
it.
the rest of the car is so fucking hot.
I hope they make a die cast of that because that is so sick.
I'm buying the hat, the shirt, the flag, the die cast, the socks, the fucking.
Oh yeah, Dale Jr. He started a hashtag in reply to that and said hashtag free the skirt, which
hey yo,
oh yeah,
shout out to Dale.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, picture taken from the Penske shop of this Joey Logano car, which looks very Steve Park like. No red numbers, big dub, lots of black and yellow. Looks great.
It would look better with red numbers.
I don't think so.
That's my thinking too.
I like the black.
I'd like to see it.
Car.
I'd like to
It's hot. It's still hot.
Put a 12 on the door, and I'm gonna come.
Well, and put something on the quarter panel here.
That's a little aggressive, but you know what? I'm there for it. I'm here for it, and I want to see it.
I don't know if they're gonna put anything up here, but I really hope they.
Yeah, it looks wrong with all that space there.
Yeah,
like,
there's got to be a
Pennzoil logo right there.
There's got to be a Pennzoil like tagline or something like. I don't know what Pennzoil's
just put a Shell logo right there.
Yeah, that works.
Put 2-time Cup champion Low Baldo right there, and just have it cover up that.
He's got hair now. It's actually really funny. Bob was posting the interview with Joey Logano, and he had hair, and I was like, "Who the? Oh yeah, Joey Logano has hair now."
Air Club for Men is an incredible product. All right, let's just put that out there.
All right, that is drip or drown. A lot of drip this week, I gotta say.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I think they finally figured out this forward number placement.
It's getting to that season. I'm getting excited. Everyone's revealing their cars. It's a good time.
It's been looking kind of good, honestly. I'm an early converter. Let it be known.
Let it be known. It was my job at the beginning to prove that I could look good. You wouldn't believe me.
It's all about execution, like most things.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Slap, it is your turn to take the floor. It's time for Slap's crazy ass moments in history.
All right, Tonight we're talking about the 1919 molasses flood. The great molasses flood of 1919 in Boston.
The great Boston molasses flood.
All right, so why were they storing all this molasses in Boston? During the Great War, there was a ration on sugar. So nobody could add sugar to like anything because it was just, the army was using it to sell, to equip their own troops and to sell abroad and all that shit. So if you go to Boston now, you ever have Boston brown bread or Boston baked beans, it's all flavored with molasses. There's no sugar in it, because that molasses was the only thing like people had to as a sweetener. So that's why that still exists. In 1915, the Purity Distilling Company builds a massive storage tank for molasses coming into Boston's North End neighborhood. The reason why they built this there was just to have it in holding so they could distill it, because ethanol that they distilled from the molasses was used in explosives and stuff. And that was big business for World War I. There was, millions of Europeans going to their graves early. So there's, of course, the Americans have to like make, big demo dollars because of all of that. So they build this 90-foot wide, 50-foot tall holding tank for all this molasses that's coming in, that waiting to be distilled and all that. It held 2.5 million gallons of molasses. At least that's what it theoretically held. The moment they built it, they put a guy in charge of it by the name of Arthur P. Gell, who had never built anything in his life. He was just a financial advisor. who had a track record of getting things done ahead of schedule. So they brought him in, but he was kind of like not an engineer at all. So he just like gets this job done as quick as possible. And immediately the molasses holding cell is leaking all over, through the rivets and everything. Legend has it that kids that lived in the North End, their parents would give them these little jars to take to school. So when they came back home, they could stop by the holding tank and fill it with molasses so their parents could get free molasses.
This thing's huge, by the way. Look at this. Oh my God.
In a residential neighborhood. There were no building codes back then.
Is it just someone's house right here?
Residential.
Yeah, it was a residential neighborhood. It was 90 feet from the main road. That didn't even look like 90 feet to me. But
this is in your hood. This is in the hood, right? This is
right next to people's homes. There were no building codes in Boston at this time, so you could build whatever the fuck you wanted to. This was dubbed not a building but a structure, so there were no codes you had to adhere to. You could just do whatever you wanted to.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, so they built this freaking thing up. It was leaking molasses like a sieve. All these kids are just going by and just scooping up molasses for their parents and all that shit.
Got some gravel in it, no big deal.
In 1917, I think they fixed it by painting the storage tower the same color as the molasses, so people couldn't tell that it was leaking.
That's pretty good.
That's probably what I would do.
And this story all comes to a head in 1919 on a January morning. It's a very cold morning. It's like 20 degrees out. And a ship comes in to drop off some new molasses to top off the tank. By the way, when they tested the tank to make sure that it could like hold all this molasses, the test was 6 inches of water down at the bottom. And then they drained all that out and they said, yep, good to go. And that was it. So they're topping this thing off for all 2.5 million gallons of molasses in this January cold morning.
Man, it's freezing. I could warm myself up with a nice molasses bath.
Yeah, but the tanker of this molasses is having a real hard time getting this molasses like off ship and onto the tanker or onto the holding tank. So they decide they're going to divert heat from the coal fire to the molasses they have on board, so it will warm up and it'll become more viscous and drain into the holding tank. And that works. It gets it off the ship. But that mixed with all the cold molasses inside the tank, and it starts to ferment and build this pressure, these bubbles. And an eyewitness says he hears one rivet come off the holding tank like a gunshot. And then 2, and then 3, and then after that there's a pause, and then boom, 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 boom. He said it sounded like a machine gun.
Shit.
Holy shit.
And the whole side of this blows open, and this 2 million gallons of molasses flows through the north end of Boston, clear through the whole town. This was a heavily immigrant area, populated area. So, the way the government treated it was, they're just immigrants. They're not real people, who gives a fuck?
Jesus.
So all this molasses flowed through, and the original count was 11 people died. It was actually elevated to 21 people because if you are involved in a molasses flood, you don't drown in molasses, you're suffocated by it. A lot of the bodies could not be identified because after the molasses cooled in the January weather, they were just encased in molasses and nobody knew who these people were or anything. Some people literally died trying to pull other people out because they just got sunk into it. And it's just probably the worst way to go, honestly.
This is molasses Pompeii.
Yeah. So that broken down elevated rail track you just saw up there. One of those pictures of the elevated rail track. 10 seconds before the tank blew, a freight train took off from there. So it just narrowly missed that. So that freight train did not, fall down on the residential neighborhood and all that. So yeah, there was a lot of finger pointing by the Purity Distilling Company saying like, oh, well, we didn't know what happened. Oh, it was this guy or it was the contractor or all this. But the people who lived there kind of banded together and said like, no, we knew this tank was faulty because we were collecting molasses from it for years before this. And eventually they got compensation, equivalent to today's money. I think it was $260,000 per person that had died, to the families and all that, which is a paltry amount considering what had happened, just people being stupid and all that. But yeah, there's the 1919 molasses mud flood.
All that over some molasses.
That over some molasses after the war had already ended.
Slap, I have some stuff to add to this.
Oh, really?
Because you mentioned in last week's podcast that you might be talking about the molasses flood this week. And we have had some reporting in the field. I've received an email. I'm dipping early into fan mail because it's this good. This was sent in from Carl. And he says, "Hi, Shrimps. To aid in Slap's presentation, I went out to the lovely north end of Boston before my workday and took some photos of what the area looks like today."
Dude. Shit.
It's a baseball field. This is picture one. He says, "This is a view from Cops Hill. The home plate of this Little League field is where the tank was. The tank was about twice as tall as the backstop, and the elevated railroad was put underground post World War II. The tall ship in the background is the USS Constitution, a still active U.S. naval ship."
Yeah.
Hell,
dude.
And
shout out to that. That's sick.
Yeah,
the Subaru right there.
Another thing I forgot to mention, as early as the 1960s, they said on a hot summer day, the entire north end of Boston would smell like molasses. Because it was seeped into the concrete and it would seep out and you could smell it on a summer day.
Dude,
this one, he says, is
that's how thick it was.
He's pointing about 20 feet high and the wave was about 30 feet high. So imagine living on the third floor and having a wave of hot molasses crash through your window.
The tank was 50 feet high, so that tracks. Yeah, that tracks.
Imagine living on the third floor and having a wave of hot molasses crash through your window, burn, crush, and drown you to death.
Nah, I'm good.
Dude, when Slap was talking about like how it started out hot and then it just like encased people and cooled off.
Yeah.
Oh, they were just stuck in it. I'm just picturing this human equivalent of just like those mosquitoes in Jurassic Park they find.
Those are like mosquitoes in
amber.
Let's get DNA from them and mix them with frog DNA and try to resurrect the species.
Here's a third photo. Once again, the tank is where the home plate is, and this bocce court is where a fire station was.
That's how Joe Rogan was made.
Yeah, so that tank was 50 feet tall, so that would have been one more story than that red building.
Yeah. So here he says, there's a building that used to be on this corner here. It was called the Cloudy House.
Rusty, okay.
Which is where a lot of the people.
We're driving good.
I'm sorry.
Jesus
We're
Christ.
good. We're good.
There was a building here where a lot of the people just died instantly.
That was not the place to pop, bro. That was not. There goes the camera. There goes the camera.
I don't want to be on
to
camera.
chaos.
Does that remind you of any other towers that?
Jesus Christ.
Rusty's dying over here. He's dead. He's deceased.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sure you are.
Move along, son. Move along.
Here's another picture of the
oh wow.
That's a 6-foot dude. This is how tall this backstop is, and the tank was twice as tall as that.
God damn. Rusty, why are you laughing?
I'm putting on the screen. You animal.
He's laughing
Muted.
about 21 people dying being encased in molasses.
That is kind of
Because
based.
shoddy building regulations.
Slightly based.
Shout out to Carl for sending in those pictures and doing the field research.
Probably moving like that hypnosis video we were watching the other day in slow motion.
Molasses. That's great. Slap, you should tease each moment so in case anyone wants to get any like field studies done. If you have anything lined up for next week.
I did, but I forgot about it.
Oh, all right, that's fine. All right, that was Slap's crazy ass moments in history.
If anybody wants to go to Miami to scope out the Miami FBI shootout, let me know.
I'm not gonna lie, I listened to that last week, and I was driving. I was driving to Charlotte to work some hockey this weekend, and I was enthralled with the entire story.
Unfortunately, Rusty was laughing maniacally through all of that.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry.
Damn.
All right, next segment.
I love Rusty so goddamn much. That's
Oh my god, dude. Break, motherfucker, you know you want to. Break.
That's the funniest thing ever.
How's your Nintendo Wii doing, bruh? How's the Wii U? Who's the real animal this week?
Okay, Rusty. I'd like to apologize to all the audio listeners to this show.
Rusty. Rusty, what were you imagining right there? Drowning puppies or something?
We come back from the Animal Planet
place right there.
screen, and Rusty just has a dead serious face.
What was this segment again?
The Animal Planet.
Dude, I'm literally crying right now.
Oh my god.
Like Disney
Rusty, that
World?
was great. All right, welcome to Animal Planet, a segment where we talk about animals at racing events or gyms or malls or literally wherever. People acting like animals. If we can gather this back together.
I'm trying to recover from this, man.
That would be the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Sorry.
Started 45 minutes late just for this.
I was only like 10 minutes after we normally start. Blake, I guess I should have asked you to prepare something in advance. Because you announce a racetrack, you've probably seen a lot of animals, right?
Not really. There's been infestations when we went to Hickory, like for
Jesus.
Oh, I don't mean actual animals.
Oh.
We're talking about
Like actual
We're talking about people.
Mostly we're talking about animalistic behavior by humans.
Talking about people acting like animals. We're talking about.
Has anybody
I don't
ever
know,
pissed on your
Ace-
car?
Yeah.
Or spit on it.
I don't know. Ace was interesting this year because we had the tire shortage, hit us pretty hard. So like before the season started, they kind of like cut out half the schedule. So we went like we had a date in April. May was rained out, and so then we had like 2.5 months between the first and second race of the year. So it was a light schedule this year. So the opportunity for animals was not quite as high as it usually is.
Cody, where the heck were you this week? You and your big ass jacket.
It's my cozy jacket.
Looks like a Seahawks thing.
It does kind
Like
of
a cyberpunk.
There was some guy though that like told me off at Ace. So I'll
Oh,
kind
who's
of
talking shit?
Yeah. So anyway, so there's this date at Ace that's it's like kids night or whatever. It's like family night, and they'll have these different setups and.
Someone's telling you off on family night.
Yeah. We'll bring out these bouncy houses and everything. It was kind of my fault in a way, but I'll get to that. So one thing that they do, which apparently is some big tradition, my grandpappy's pappy was running in the bike races at Ace Speedway. They'll literally just have like different, age groups of kids or whatever, that, they'll just do a half a lap or a quarter lap or whatever, depending on their age. And this guy, like before the bike races had started, had like come up to the booth and was like wanting me to talk about like his son. I can't remember. He had some type of disability or something, but he had like won a bike race like 20 years ago or something. And he wanted me to just like mention it really quick, before this whole thing started. Rusty, don't laugh at this right now. And sorry. And so, so we were going to talk about that and everything. And then as we get closer to race time, shit happens at racetracks. Just schedule gets out of whack. People don't show up like when they're supposed to. There's confusion about like which age groups were going, and then they were going to group them all together, and just all this stuff happened like as we were running the bike races. So things just kind of got way out of whack. The schedule got out of whack. And we just had to run the bike races really quick and then, get the national anthem and stuff. Because one thing we do is we'll run on time. That's kind of our priority. And so I kind of get back up to the booth as we're starting to run our extreme class, which is, kind of the beginner division out there. And this parent comes up there and I forgot to talk about this kid or whatever. That like, he had come up there and said, "Oh, I want you to talk about my kid." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll get it," or whatever. And obviously, like through all the chaos and confusion and all this stuff, just forgot about it. And he just came up to the booth and was, saying you're shitty at your job and whatever. Like you're just a fucking kid, don't know what you're doing and everything and whatever. And
what a dork.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
And I was like, "All right, thank you. Out of here, please." He just left, but
coming up in your booth talking shit because you didn't do him a favor.
Tell him to get out of here.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
out of here.
Other than that, man, like crowd at Ace was awesome. I loved being around there.
Oh, yeah.
People were great. Everything, like it was super cool. Everything ran on time, which if you go to like any other racetrack is always a big fucking struggle. And Ace, they're like on their shit. Except when it rained. Like when it rained, but you can't do anything about that. But other than that, like. Everything was really cool about Ace, but that was like my one animal experience, I guess, at Ace this year.
Damn, that sucks. I feel bad for you.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah. Cody, where the hell were you this week?
I was up north in the frozen tundra of Eagle River, Wisconsin. To
I gotta see where this
snowmobiles. It was basically the ice version of Martinsville. It's these fucking snowmobile races at this half-mile oval track with these long-ass straightaways. It was pretty sweet. And I'll show you a couple of small things just to give you a little taste of what my weekend was like.
Taste a smidgen.
Oh, that is like up there.
Yeah, it's like 30
That's almost the
south
peninsula.
of the UP. Yeah. It's pretty close to the UP.
I might have seen commercials for this on TV.
You might have. Let me know when you got this playing.
Oh, is this
Cody H streaming.
Is this from this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is you on the camera. Okay, hold on. Let me pull this thing up here. Well, hold on. Hey.
Got it.
God dang it. I gotta make sure you guys get audio too. Okay.
Hey, how'd you do in the 24 this week?
Oh, it's just
I'll talk about it.
Of just the races. And yeah, these guys ate shit up at the front.
They banked this snow? Oh my god.
Shit.
They're both fine, but yeah, that was an example of what can happen when things goes wrong. But yeah, it's a little half-mile ice oval.
Is this on a lake?
A half mile with fucking snowmobiles you can just pop off?
But yeah, that's basically it.
Wait, what?
Apparently this year's conditions, the ice was really thin and they didn't get too much ice, which made track conditions really bad, so it was rough.
There's
They
that
didn't
riff
have too
again.
much ice to spare, too much thickness. Normally, if they have a lot more ice, they can like shave it down and grate it a little bit, but and make it a lot more smooth.
Was that Chet Christner?
Interesting.
That is.
Wow.
I love Chet.
Yeah, I've heard him do a lot of dirt racing, but not ice racing.
He normally does like open wheel and USAC midget type stuff in a sprint
Can't
car,
say
but
that.
he does the commentating for that World Championship snowmobile derby every year. Shout out.
I called like a couple. I called some
minutes.
iRacing races with him during the pandemic.
Oh, cool.
Took that opportunity to reset
any snow animals up there?
Yeah, I was gonna get to that in a sec. Pull up my stream real quick. I just want to give you a little. I had a little interesting shooting perspective. I thought I was gonna be miserable this weekend, just because I hear like, hey, you're gonna be working snowmobiles out on the ice and shooting like possibly 10, 12-hour days. I actually had it pretty cozy. I'll show you my little setup here.
Ooh.
Walk out the press box. So this is like the uppermost level on like all like the stands and suites and stuff. Walk down a half level. Oh, what's this? This little hole in the fence. Kind of climb my way
that's
over
not a hole.
here.
That's a.
Oh.
Climb up on
the shortcut.
Climb up onto the roof. This is the roof of the suites. This is
Like
like
a
a slight
shovel
angle
path.
right here. No, this is just my footpath.
That's fucking sweet.
And then onto this little deck.
This is kind of cool.
This little deck that's like 8x8 or 10x10.
Bro, this is awesome. What a setup.
Power lines and audio lines run out there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, here's the view of the track.
Dude, that looks better than like your normal like dirt track setup.
Oh, the dirt. Yeah, some of the dirt track setups are like.
Climb on into the.
Dude, that looks banked.
I got a big ass heater in there.
Hell yeah.
Heater keeping me warm. The tent keeping me shielded from the wind.
Propane tank heater.
I love propane and propane accessories.
Yeah, too bad it might give you asthma.
Nah, it's fine. It's a clean burning fuel, I tell you what.
Tell you what, once the show's over,
it's pretty well ventilated too. I think you'll be all right.
So shooting wise, yeah, the experience is pretty fun, but the biggest animal I experienced was when I first got there. I got to give a shout out to my coworker Matt. He's the first animal in the story, telling me I had to get to the track 2 hours earlier than I actually had to. He told I didn't have to be there till 9. I found out, but he told me 7, like through I guess like a pretty vague text.
Oh, so you had to wake up early.
And yeah, it's an hour drive. Call time's at 7. It's an hour drive. It takes me like an hour or so to get ready, and I wanted to get there like a half an hour early. It's like I've never been here before. I want to know where to go, get my credentials, check in, everything. So basically, I had to be up at like 4:30 the previous morning.
Ugh.
Yeah.
See, I'm just sitting around. I get there. It's early. I was texting back and forth with Matt. It's like, yep, I got here early. I knew it. So I'm just kind of chilling in my car. Some guy is coming around, I guess, like just doing security work and just getting stuff ready around the grounds. And he starts like pestering me about a parking pass. And this is after I'd already gotten my like media pass. I'm actually still wearing it right now, my little wristband. And like at every dirt track I've been to, there's no parking passes. There's nothing. It's like, hey, you got your wristband, all right, cool. And so I started telling him that. He's like, oh, you need a parking pass, like, and I basically is like, all right, where do I go get that? And he tells me I got to go get at this building that's like halfway across the grounds, and it's snowy. Obviously, it's freezing. I'm wearing my my warm stuff, but it's obviously still a pain in the ass to walk all the way over there. Or I could drive over there and then risk losing my spot. So I was like, all right, dude, whatever. I close my door. I start walking over there. As I'm like 10 steps away, he kind of like comes like jogging up to me, like wagging his finger. He's like, don't you give me attitude. I guess I closed my door too hard. I have a crappy Ford Focus. It's cold as shit. The thing like is old and kind of squeaky. It takes a little force to close it.
Yeah.
He thought that was me like giving him backlash and attitude. So he thinks I'm the one giving him attitude. So then he immediately comes up and starts giving me attitude. And God, it was
a power tripping snowmobile.
Yeah, this is already 2 days ago.
attendant.
I wish I remembered it a little bit better and clearer. But yeah, he starts like yelling at me and scolding me like he's my goddamn parent, accusing me of having attitude. It's like, dude, like you're the one that came up to me grilling me about a parking pass. I said, all right, I'm walking away to do it. Now you're accusing me of closing my door too hard. It's like, it sounds like to me, you're the one that's trying to find something to start.
Yeah, you're the one
going out of your way to find trouble.
Should have socked this old man right in his fucking shit is what you should have.
You should have just knocked him out cold, put him in the trunk, and be done with it.
Dude, I was fed up.
Laying him out on the track.
At that.
Lay him out on the
basically, and he made me drive out of there to go get the thing. And I was like, dude, what happens if I lose my spot? He's like, you're not going to. So I was like, all right, whatever. I kind of drove out of there pretty quickly.
Yeah, we know from Boston if you encase him in molasses, like he'll freeze, and nobody will be able to identify the body.
I was fully prepared. Like once I got back, if someone took my spot, to just park in front of them and just park them in, be like, hey, so this gentleman told me that no one was going to park here, so yeah, I go get my stupid parking pass, come back, and right when I'm starting to think, it's like, you know what, was I the one in the wrong in this? Was I the asshole? Was I like actually giving him attitude and he was like just not having it? One of his coworkers that I guess saw the entire thing start to finish came up to me and started apologizing to me on his behalf. He's like, I'm sorry, like we're really stressed, like it's taken so much to like get all this put together, like he's being short with everyone this morning. I got to apologize.
Well, that's very nice.
And so yeah, like right when I was starting to think, it's like, was I in the wrong? Was I actually giving him attitude? Like was I not justified in like being pissed off about that? Like one of his coworkers saw it and was apologizing to me on his behalf.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, so he was being a dick. Thank you.
All right.
I still say you should have socked him.
Yeah, I should have encased him in molasses, put him in the trunk, be done with it.
Yeah.
All right, that was Animal Planet.
Oh, and shout out to Fly Racing, by the way, for giving us these sick ass jackets, which I didn't even mention.
Those are sick. Like those are not.
That
cheap.
is sick.
With a little built-in lens cleaning cloth.
Hey,
yo,
dude, that's sick.
Nice. Yeah.
Awesome.
Fucking.
Can I talk about animals at UPS?
Yeah.
Of course, always.
Sure.
I sent you guys that picture through the group chat. That woman just like walking down the middle of the street.
Oh, a while ago.
Yeah, it was like last week. But just these people that don't know how to use sidewalks. Again, I was just,
We've had this conversation. Yeah.
I know we've had this conversation, but I can't deal with it anymore, man. I'm at my wit's end here. I crave Deathmobile 3000.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you considered just running them over once and for all?
No.
This happened again, like the end of a cul-de-sac. Like a couple's like walking their dog at like noon. They don't have. It's like fucking 30 degrees outside. It's noon, and they're just like walking their dog. And they're like, okay, you guys don't have a job or anything. And they're just like, they like get down to the cul-de-sac, and instead of like going back and up the sidewalk, they just decide to like walk lazily like in the middle of the cul-de-sac and like go up the other side of the street where there is no sidewalk and then walk along the side. Like, man, I got deliveries to make. Why are you people like in my way? Please, just I don't know, like just people just don't know what public infrastructure is in South Carolina, just suburbia in general. It's I crave death. I want people to have horrible things to happen to them. That's the end.
Jeez. If you or someone you know is in the Greenville area and sees a brown UPS truck, get out of the way.
A brown UPS truck revving its engine at you when you're not on the fucking sidewalk that's right there meant for you, you animal.
Is it possible these people are, maybe hoping to get run over in, hopes of a payday?
Insurance.
Yeah, well, good luck trying to cash that in when you're dead.
What can Brown do for you?
Can send you straight to St. Peter. That's what we can fucking do for you. I had the right of way. I was a pedestrian. Yeah, good luck. Good luck explaining it to God. Apparently, that gives you a do-over, according to some people.
All right, that was Animal Planet. Next up is the good old media check-in, where we talk about what we've been watching, what we've been playing the past week. I spent basically my entire weekend playing iRacing. That was fun.
Can we talk about the Sim Racer movie?
Oh man.
Oh, okay. So last week, right after we recorded the podcast, we watched the Sim Racer movie together, and it was a wonderful experience. Not because the movie was good, but because it was bad. I mean, I thought it'd be bad, but it was really bad.
I couldn't take the cringe, so I sat this one out.
Oh, that's just because you're a tit man.
It felt like a high school project.
We all know Earl saved that movie, though.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're into feet, you will like that movie.
Well,
No
there's
lies
two
detected.
storylines. There's one storyline where a guy has to sim race to make money to pay rent, and then there's another storyline where a guy has his friend sim race so he can suck some toes. It's standard procedure. Slap, you didn't watch this with us, did you?
No, I went to bed.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, you
Spoiler
missed
alert.
it.
This movie was made for you, Slab. You gotta watch.
There was actual toe sucking.
Correct. It was like a main part of the story.
We are not
This
kidding.
girl throws her feet up on the bar with like 5 minutes left in the movie, and Earl
says,
looks to
"Suck
the
that."
hems and says, "Thank you, God."
She says, "Suck that."
And she
It's
says,
just
"Suck 'em."
suck on him. Yeah.
Did Rusty
Yeah.
make this? Was Rusty the executive producer? The producer's barely disguised fetish? Was that what we were talking about?
I'm also gonna
Tarantino.
I'm also gonna spoil the last shot just because you guys have had time to watch this. The movie literally ends with an ass grab and then roll credits.
Literally.
That's the end of the film.
Send me the link to this. I think I might need to watch this on my own time.
You better have
You
$10.
missed your chance. You gotta. Well, I mean, you can still watch it, but you gotta pay it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
know every time that I get off, I get a letter in the mail that apparently I owe $9,000 on a house that my parents I inherited from my parents. I go out and stand at the ocean and just look out at the vast ocean, contemplating the meaning of life. And walks up a cute chick who just happens to be signed up for the same race on iRacing that I am, super late at USA International.
Yeah,
And
that's
she
funny.
literally
Trespassing on your
opens-
private property.
opens up. She walks up, like the dude is like sad. He needs a bunch of money. He's gonna do this sim race to pay it off. The girl walks up, is like, "Hey, I'd like to see you naked. Also, hi, I also sim race and I'm also in this event." And it's like,
the main character is such a wuss. Like, you have
There is no
reason to
reason
want
to
to
root
cheer
for
for
him.
him.
Yeah.
Like there's no redeeming. You're just supposed to feel sorry for him.
I feel sorry for him.
He means $9,600 and rides a $10,000 motorcycle the entire movie.
Fully furnished house, could definitely sell some of that. Oh, and apparently all the sim shots are shot as if they are actually
Racing
real.
cars.
Like he's sitting in the cockpit in iRacing.
It is
His
weird
crew
how they,
chief
like, green
is sitting
screen him
on
in.
the pit box in the sim.
Operating a
apparently.
receiver as opposed to like a Discord, like a normal like.
I want
computer
to give a
headset.
shout out to the bad guys crew chief. Had some of the worst acting I've ever seen in anything.
But it was so
anything
funny.
ever. Anything ever. Oh my god.
It was like out of Sharknado. It was
Oh,
entertaining.
I thought
was
this was like a
fantastic.
documentary. I didn't know this was like a film.
No, someone watched Days of Thunder and was like that, but in a super late model race in iRacing.
Oh my god.
Don't forget the wonderful Parker Breaks subtitling too in our fine viewing.
Yeah.
The other thing is
if
that
you want drama, go back to like 2022 when I owed $16,000 to the IRS and my fucking roof started leaking and my AC went out and I burned through $20,000 in the span of like 3 months.
Jesus Christ. All right,
Christ.
Mason, take it easy over there.
the other thing I think that was really bad that actually could be cool about a sim racing movie, if you think about like Days of Thunder and Talladega Nights and everything, all the live action shots, they had to actually go to a track and shoot them and probably do 30 or 50,000 takes of every single scene to make sure like every crash was right or they got the right people side, whatever. And the thing about iRacing is you can get the exact camera shots you want. You have an unlimited number of attempts at it, and the in-sim shots they had in the movie were just like really poor, like
90% out of
and
focus.
blurry, out of focus, like didn't make sense with the plot. Like, and they had all the time in the world to set up those shots and do it exactly how they wanted, and I don't know. I was shocked that wasn't better.
The plot itself doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah.
When they're trying to get into this event and he's like, all right, the top 5 from this heat race or whatever advance into the main event. And the guy's sitting in second and he's like, I need to win this. And then he gets wrecked. And it's like, who wrote this? Did no one watch this before it went out? I don't know. I don't want to dog on the creators too hard because they clearly were passionate about it. But man, that was absolute high school project.
Where can I watch this at for my?
It is worth the $5. I will say, like,
it's
if you
$5 to rent on Amazon Prime.
I'm not spending that money. Somebody pirate that shit for me.
I feel like they may have made that movie just so they could get some like toe and like acid involved in their lives.
Well, they sponsored a bunch of iRacers too, right? And put logos on their cars. Spend money trying to promote it that way.
It's a psyop.
They sponsored my 87 event in last May, I think, actually, or July, whichever one. And I'm doing them a real solid by talking about it right now. But
sorry, no one watches this podcast.
Oh,
true.
Darn.
200 people do.
We also spent the hard-earned money to watch this film, so they should be happy.
Sure, we can talk about.
I was entertained. It was worth the $5, just not.
It was a great viewing experience with my friends. What else y'all been watching this week?
I finished Chainsaw Man. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I saw you uploaded that video. I watched it. That was a good video, man.
Yeah, man. Dude, apparently the second season's supposed to be so much fucking better. God almighty. It's so stupid, but it's so good at the same time. I love it.
I got fucked up in the iRacing 24. Just wrecked a lot. I had fun though. I literally.
Did you wreck it right away?
I might have crashed in the first hour. That kind of just set the tone for the rest of it. One of these years we're gonna win it again. We'll return to glory.
That's what happens when you take me off the sponsorship. I'm just saying.
You're acting like that was my decision.
That wasn't my decision. Wait a minute.
Hold on. You literally said don't put me on the car because literally everyone already knows who I am. So don't do it.
Oh, what? What are you talking about?
Well, you literally don't gaslight me on my own show.
I am gonna need that in writing or on tape.
Someone else was there.
We're gonna need a witness.
All right, well, we don't have one, so.
All right, then this is kangaroo court. What?
Call Cody H Gaming to the stand.
All right, we call Cody H Gaming. Oh, listen, regardless of what the situation was, I would have sponsored that car. Kind of glad I didn't, given the results. You did take a big fat fucking L.
We got a top 10.
That's a big fat fucking L where I'm coming
out of like 13 cars.
Yeah,
like 17.
Last time I was on the car, you won, I do believe.
That's not true. Last year we did horribly too, and you were on the car.
All right, well, at least I have a winning record in the past. All right, we haven't gotten the win before. Big Fan Esports is currently wearing a big fat like 0-1, so that's not good.
Big L Esports.
We had fun. That's what matters.
All right, you had fun, but when you want to win, let me know. I'm right here.
All right, we'll call you up next year.
Let me know. I'm right here.
Rusty, race it next year.
Yeah. So the plan is we're running bottom split, me and Cody, maybe a couple other animals, and we're gonna take the podium, baby. We got this.
We're gonna wreck on lap like 7.
Damn it! Head in the fucking bird. ShrimpHoursPresents the inside joke.
Yeah. That's a joke for like 8 people.
Anybody?
From 8 years ago.
Yeah, unless anyone else has any other media they want to talk about.
Nah, get us out of here quick. Hit the music.
All right.
Send in your fucking mail. What's your fucking hand? Slap. Send in your fucking mail.
Send them in, guys.
The whole podcast is dead.
I don't give a fuck, man.
It's falling apart quickly.
Welcome
to
part
of the scenes where our fucking
Fan mail.
you're in person.
Fan mail.
Send them in, guys.
Send them in, guys.
Remember, gonna send us in an email.
Just play that again.
We'll read it.
Can we run it back?
Sure.
Run it back.
Run it fucking
Send
back.
in your fucking mail. Wash your fucking hands. Slap. Send in your fucking mail. Send them in, guys. Wash your fucking hands. Slap. I don't give a fuck, man. You better send in those.
Blake's about to like yeet out of here and terminal mail.
He's ready to die.
Fan mail. Fan mail.
This is fantastic.
All right, welcome to Fan Mail, the segment where we read your fan mail. Send them in shrimphourspresents@gmail.com. We will read it on the show. We only got 3 emails this week, and then I asked today for more and only got 2 more. So, shout out to Carl. We already read his stuff. Great reporting on the scene of the great molasses flood. And then we got 2 more emails from the usual suspects. First one comes in from Harley Payne, who says, "I'm never staying up for 24 hours again. Had a great time doing the watching the I Rolex 24. Can't believe I made Team No Sleep. Yeah, don't do that. And expect more memes. All right, questions. Who do you consider to be the Mount Rushmore of racing drivers? The only stipulation is you can't have 2 guys that predominantly raced in the same series, i.e. Earnhardt and Petty or Senna and Schumacher. Choose wisely."
You know what would make this really fun if you just disqualified F1 and NASCAR and make everybody really think about this?
Who are the 4 greatest drivers from completely different disciplines to not race F1 or NASCAR?
Maybe IndyCar too.
Literally, who's left?
I don't know.
Sebastian
like
Loeb?
racing.
Well, no, Juan Pablo's F1 and NASCAR.
We would need a rally guy who's probably Sebastian Loeb. We'd need like
Jim Clark.
Mario Andretti.
he raced
or something.
F1.
All right, if you got smoked, I don't think you.
I mean, are they saying like you can't have like more than 2 F1 or more than?
They
2?
can't have more than 1.
More, you
So you
can't have
essentially
more
got to
than one
pick your
in
favorite
anything.
from each.
Yeah,
discipline.
you got to pick an F1 guy, a NASCAR guy, and then 2 others from something
Right,
else.
Mario Andretti, Richard Petty,
Sure.
Fangio, Ken Block.
Oh,
But Ken Block, like, he wasn't like a motorsports guy. He was like a lifestyle guy.
Mount Rushmore. When was Mount Rushmore built? In the 1920s. They had Theodore Roosevelt on there. He's only been president for like 10 fucking years.
he still belongs though.
Yeah, Ken Block fucking belongs. Fuck you.
On the on a
'cause he did what?
motorsports Mount Rushmore?
Yeah,
I love Ken Block, but he made like a couple videos where like he drove a car and split it a little bit. Like,
yeah, Theodore
That's it. We're
Roosevelt
putting him
had,
up there on the
good
Mount
charge in the
Rushmore.
Spanish-American War and was president, and that was it.
bruh,
Right.
he did a little bit more than that. If we want to really boil it down,
Or he made the national park system. Okay,
there might have been
congratulations.
a few more things that took place.
Like what?
Listen, we can.
You
get
don't
into
know
this.
shit. Shut the fuck up. Theodore
Listen.
Roosevelt is a fraud.
Oh my
All right, next question.
Ken Block, I'm putting Ken Block,
Listen.
Fangio, Richard Petty.
Listen, you see all those
Mario
teddy
Andretti.
bears? See all those teddy bears in your background that you sleep with at night? You know who you got to thank for that? Theodore Roosevelt, motherfucker.
Sure. All right, next question comes in from Andrew R. He says,
Apparently, I'm only
"Good
the
morning,
person
all
who like
y'all.
answered that goddamn question, but do continue.
With the news that Happy Harvick has finally decided to hang up the helmet, it'd be fun to ponder 2 questions. 1, which Harvick was the better Harvick? 29 Harvick or 4 Harvick?
4.
Yeah. 4.
That's not even a question.
Done. All right. 2.
No, 29 Harvick. 29 Harvick.
Nah, you're
For
stupid.
what?
For
to be different.
going after the Dillon boys and saying that they're a bunch of rich kids born with a silver spoon in their mouth.
Yeah,
That is
jumping over
based.
cars in pit road to get after Greg.
Yeah,
Biffle and
beating the
screaming
shit
at
out
his
of Greg
face.
Biffle. That was a based.
I bet
And
3/4 of
never
like the
winning.
laps led in his career have come from the 4 car.
Never winning.
Yeah.
He won a 500 in that.
What about
Yeah, and what
pushing
did he-
Jeff
what are you
Gordon
doing-
into that fight or
what are you doing
whatever?
What are you doing it for?
He's been the
Everything.
best driver in the world since he got in that 4 car.
Yeah,
Like,
the
period.
4 turned him up to.
No. When you think of Kevin Harvick, you think of him trying to get in a fight with Ricky Rudd driving the 29. winning the 500, driving the 29, talking shit about the Dillon brothers, driving the 29,
winning the championship.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's some fucking.
Edging out Mark Martin for the 500 in the 29.
In the 4, fuck you.
What about the big 3 when he won like 8 races that season or whatever?
Okay, fine. It's still bullshit. Win the fucking championship.
Bro.
Well, you just said the championship's bullshit. God damn it, Slap, pick one.
Bullshit.
Well, it doesn't matter. You won a bunch of races.
He would have had the championship racked up after Texas.
Yeah.
2 races left.
Okay, fine.
All right, he concedes. It's over.
It's all playoff error. It's all fucking null and void.
All right, next question. Who takes over?
Matter.
Who takes over the number 4 once he's gone? Do they call Perps, Cold Custard, or do they pull someone from Trucks? Majeski, Rhodes, Deegan? What do you
Probably
think?
Custer.
Probably Custer.
Yeah, I mean,
Custer.
It makes sense.
Really?
It makes sense that they'd push him down to Xfinity and probably tell him like, "Hey, bud, you're only going to be here for a year. We'll get you back up there."
Do they really?
He's going to win like 10 races in Xfinity this year.
Yeah, he's going to kick ass.
What makes you think they care enough to like bring him back up?
Because doesn't his dad work for the team? Isn't his dad like really high up?
President of that fucking.
All right,
yeah,
well that's
it's like
Cindric could
clearly that wasn't enough to keep him up there in the first place. So like, what
well,
changed?
I think
one top 5 since 2020.
They're gonna give him a year. He's probably gonna kick ass, and they'll move him back up. And then it's only a matter of time till Almirola opens up his seat for the rest of them. So
yeah, Almirola was supposed to retire, but he didn't.
He's being a weirdo.
I mean, it's one thing to kick ass, but I'm gonna have to see it to believe it.
All right, I think you will, but that remains to be seen. We'll do our 2023 predictions episode later on.
God damn,
is that it?
I don't want to say goodbye.
We need to figure out a title for this episode. What the hell do we call this?
Brown and molasses.
Rusty can't stop laughing.
Yeah, molasses Pompeii might be.
Molasses Pompeii is pretty good. All right, Blake. Sorry,
Thank
but
you,
know,
Blake.
thanks for coming on the show.
I'm sorry you ended up on a list. I'm sorry you got canceled, but it was worth it in the end.
Biggest honor of my life, right here.
It's dead.